What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mode video. So today we are going to be talking about the new melee weapon that came out for Season 8. So this one is actually pretty interesting because, yes, it's of course another melee weapon that hasn't really come out in quite a while. I mean, I think the last melee weapon that we had was probably the butterfly knife. I guess with the reduction of weaponry that we get like in every season, back in the day, just in case you guys didn't know, back in the day we actually used to get 2 different weapons per season, sometimes 3. It would be maybe one assault rifle, one SMG, and maybe a melee weapon. But of course, I guess they decided to slow down their pace of just, releasing certain weapons at a time. And I kind of get that, because if they kept going at the same rate, they would probably run out of weapons to come up with. So yeah, I kind of understand why they did that. But for the melee weapons, we typically don't really see a lot of melee weapons come out anymore. The last one was, I believe, actually last year with the butterfly knife and that legendary Sophia draw. And that's typically what happens with most melee weapons. They usually release them now with, special legendary character draws. They had one for the Phantom, they had one for Sophia, and I think they had like another one. Actually, they're going to have another one this season with the legendary Hidori Kai. So yeah, I mean, these are kind of like just special occasion weapons. And if anything, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but in Call of Duty Mobile, melee weapons aren't really used to kill that often. Unless you're playing Swords and Stones for tournament mode, you're mainly going to be using this to just add more speed or just to get to a certain place faster. I'm pretty sure at this point the devs kind of already have that feeling. We only use melee weapons for like a last resort in normal matches, like if we have no other choice. So I think that's probably also why they stopped releasing a lot of melee weapons at a time, because they knew no one was really ever going to use them. But yes, we got the size from, I believe, Cold War. I'm not sure. I think we've had size in different Call of Duty games. I think Modern Warfare Remastered might have had size as well. But yes, this is actually from Cold War. And for a time, well, ever since this thing's been released, it's been actually quite toxic. And I won't lie. I mean, ever since they added lunge to melee weapons, melee has become a lot more, I guess, more distasteful. I mean, it takes a lot less skill to use melee weapons nowadays, because you could literally like just stab the air and you could kill someone. I mean, realistically, if you guys go to tournament mode, I mean, there's so many air punches that kill you. It's crazy. Okay, I'll be honest, I think I'm giving melee weapons a little bit too much credit, because most of them don't really require too much skill to use, mainly the ones that don't have, I guess mainly the ones that have a lot of lunge. But for the most part, like stuff like the wrench or even the shovel still do take a bit of timing to, land their hits perfectly. But when it comes to this one, I mean, I didn't even have to adapt at all. And that's something I usually do when it comes to melee weapons. I always have to figure out when's the best time to hit the enemy, like how much lunge do they have. I always had to adjust my play style to kind of fit how the melee weapon works. But this time around, I've kind of felt like I didn't even need to at all. The moment I started using it, it just felt like it was just second nature. I mean, the same could also be said about the boxing gloves right now as of today, because, I mean, that's typically what most people use as melee weapons for Swords and Stones. It's either that or just lose every game. Nunchucks were also kind of like a second choice. It was, I guess, like an alternative, but it was still nowhere near as great as the boxing gloves, unfortunately. Yeah, like they pretty much reigned supreme until this thing came out. And yeah, I mean, this thing has way too much lunge, at least as of recording this video. But surprisingly enough, last night they did release a mini patch update taking away the lunge from this weapon completely. And I'll be honest, it was kind of like something that was necessary. I mean, they didn't have to remove the lunge completely, just reduce it a bit, because I think it was like at 2.6 meters, if I'm not correct. But even then, that's a lot of distance, especially for a knife. Especially one that actually, slices this fast. You're able to get like multi-kills like it was nothing. And this was recorded actually, like, I think a day before the size got nerfed. So you kind of get to see them at their prime. So I'm kind of happy that I was able to record it when I did, because, once I make the diamond video, and believe it or not, I actually have like only 5 kills left before I get a diamond. It's going to be quite a different experience. I know I'm going to fail a lot when it comes to that. But yeah, I can't wait to actually record it, because it's going to be hilarious. But yes, the size, I mean, like for me personally, I don't really use melee weapons a lot. Like I said, most people just use it just to get to one place or another a lot faster. And again, melee weapons are kind of just used as like a last resort. Like if you run out of ammo or something, or, you know, let's say for example, you're using a sniper and you have to bolt, but you don't have time to bolt, so you just switch to your melee weapon immediately and just kill someone. Melees are kind of just like the meta for search and destroy, or if you're just fast switching with snipers. So before I recorded the video, I was kind of, you know, I kind of had a lot of negative opinions, obviously because of the overpowered nature of what this once was. And yeah, I was gonna actually say, I mean, hey devs, you guys probably gonna have to nerf this one immediately, and they actually did. So I really don't have any negative things to say. I mean, I did use it a little bit in the training room yesterday post nerf, and I mean, yeah, it's a lot worse than it was before. So this, unfortunately, I guess this weapon's only gonna be in its prime for like a day. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it had to be done for the balance of this game. I guess I'll leave it with this final comment. As necessary as this patch was for the size, they probably should have waited a little bit longer until like maybe after the legendary character draw got released, because I felt like they're gonna lose a lot of money from this, because since this thing is no longer as effective as it should have been, it might actually de-incentivize a lot of people to buy the draw, meaning that no one's gonna want to actually get it now, since these things are pretty much worthless. I mean, I would have been okay like dealing with it for an entire season, given that I've dealt with far worse before. But yeah, I think, yeah, they probably should have waited, because now they might have shot themselves in the foot. I'm just surprised right now that they haven't done this to the Argus. But anyways, that's all I really have to say about the size. I mean, it was fun using them in their overpowered form while it lasted, but unfortunately that's no longer going to be the case, and once I get a diamond, I'm probably just never going to use it again. But yeah, don't worry, I'll make the diamond video anyways, just in case you guys want me to, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.